spoke to newsmen, and here's what the PDP's lawyer, or some of what the PDP's lawyer had to say on the matter.
I am in court this morning because the People's Democratic Party PDP, through its national legal advisor, briefed me to take over an appeal filed by PDP against INEC and candidates of other political parties, which appeal is pending before this Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division. By the PDP Constitution, every case filed is filed on the authority of the National Legal Advisor, pursuant to NWC resolution. I announced my appearance and informed the court that I was just briefed, and I pray for a short date for me to look at the processes filed and then take a position in accordance with my briefing.
So that's the background. Now, reacting to this, Rivers State Governor Wike threatened to retaliate the new move of the national leadership of the PDP. The governor spoke at a PDP rally in a Che local government area of the state.
Me too, I will hit them back by tomorrow. I will hit them back by tomorrow. Nobody will go touch us when they will get wound for anybody. And we have started it. We are voting for our people here. Now you have told us you are doing anti-party. We'll show you what anti-party is. We have not caught them right there. Now let's start anti-party. We're going to watch for tomorrow. What will happen to them?
Now, he accused the party's National Working Committee of working with the opposition political parties in the state to frustrate the matter.
Those of them in Abuja who are talking about anti-party, we don't catch them now. Now then they do the anti-party. And I told them, anti-party begets anti-party. You know, say, we carry this small party here. We don't do anything where the law talk. We carry them go court. APC, SDP. And I see what they do now. The people where they Abuja always say they be national. They can't go collude with them. Go write our lawyer letter. Make our lawyer remove hand. In order to kill the case is well fine. I don't tell our lawyer, maybe remove hand. The case goes out, no problem.
Let's talk about this right now. I'm asking you, who is engaging in anti-party activities as far as the PDP is concerned? Is it Governor Wike of Rivers State, who is the member of the PDP, or is it the PDP at the national level? Let's get your take. Join via Facebook.com/NigerianForPH, via Twitter at NigerianForPH. But joining me in the studio right now is Olalekan, editor with the Independent Monitor. Lekan, once again, great to have you here in the studio today.
Yeah, good day, Diane, and thanks for having me here.
Let's talk about the governor's threat of retaliation. I mean, since I woke up this morning, I have been checking the news. I have refreshed the Google search page severally. I thought maybe by now on our news bulletin or some other news source, there would have been some announcement or at least some action taken. It's past 5 already. Specifically, it's 17, almost 18 minutes past 5 already today. The D-Day, when the retaliation is supposed to have taken place or been announced by the governor, whatever that retaliation would be. I don't know, maybe on your drive here or on your way here, or you have some secret hidden sources that you might not disclose. Are you aware what this retaliatory move is, or if there has actually been a retaliation as we speak?
But the governor said from tomorrow. He said today, then later he said from tomorrow, which is from today. And we're just about 19 minutes past 5 p.m. Today is still about another 7 or 6 hours and some few minutes to go before we cross over to the 1st of February. I think the governor knows what suspense is all about. Remember last year he did say, excuse me, something about making his presidential candidate known by January. And earlier this month in an interview, I can't remember, he had an interview with an organization and he said, look, he didn't tell anybody whether it was going to be January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 31st and all of that. Just wait. So I think one thing you can't take away from the governor is that he's a master of suspense, and I think it derives a real pleasure in keeping people in suspense. So let's say this is a waiting game. Let's say he has the ace up his sleeves and we can only wait. You know, like we Yorubas, we always say, literally in English it means that he's just bringing out something from his pocket. Don't make any guess. He will eventually bring it out. So there's no need for you to say it is white, yellow, green or purple. Allow the person to bring out his hand from his pocket, then you know what he's bringing out. So in this case, let's allow the governor to bring out his hand from his pocket. So
that reminds me
the true call of what he wants to do.
That reminds me of a Yoruba adage as well, which in English is the person whom they are bringing the new wife to,
Yes.
just don't need to stand outside stretching his neck. The wife is on her way anyway.
Yes.
So don't need to go outside to stretch your neck.
Definitely.
All right. Now, I don't know if you have a law degree, but I do know that you have been in journalism for a very long time. You have been following, and you have a lot of knowledge about antecedents of politics and political matters, and inter-party affairs, and all of that. Should the Rivers PDP institute, or can the Rivers PDP institute matters on behalf of the PDP without the approval of the National PDP?
That naturally, when both parties, when I mean both parties in this case, I'm talking of the state chapter of the party and the national secretary of the party. When both parties are in accord, hear this idea of the party writing to say, look, we are taking over the cases. More than often, the national secretariat is happy when a state chapter institutes a case and takes over a case on its behalf. You know what that means? It means they are not spending money from the national secretariat. So it means it's the state chapter that is funding and paying the lawyers that represent. So when they are, on the same platform, you don't hear of such matters really. So it's safe to say, look, if they are together, you will not hear all of this. After all, you only need the national secretariat to say, look, we are aware of the matter in Port Harcourt and we support it. And that's the only thing, the judge wants to hear. But in this case, we have the marriage between the state chapter and the national secretariat, I think, is broken down completely now. And maybe that's why the national secretariat is now beginning to bear its fangs or beginning to test its powers, against the governor and the supporters in Rivers State.
All right. I was going to ask you this much later on, but since you've touched on it somewhat, I'll just go right to it. You said that the marriage between the PDP in Rivers State and the national level, interesting choice of words, he said has broken down completely. Not hit the rocks, not suffering, not that they need some marriage counseling. He said it has broken down completely.
I think both sides are going for the jugular now. I think this is not a case of filing for divorce. They are not filing for divorce in this case. This one it's ended already.
Counseling can't resolve this one.
It's gone beyond it's gone beyond counseling. I think both sides have just resolved to go for the jugular.
Does this signal that they have crossed the line of no return?
Dayo, I think,
because I have asked you this question. I've asked this question in the past. You have said that politicians. One day is like, how do they say it in politics again? 1 minute is like this. 20 hours is like that. Have they crossed the line of no return?
I think the line has been crossed here, Dayo, because you look at what has happened in recent times, and you see that the National Secretariat is beginning to exercise its powers. I think maybe for reason of accord, for reason of concordance, I'm sure they will have tried to manage a lot of things, but you've seen recent happenings, especially what happened in Ebonyi, where the chairman of the party was suspended, what happened in Ekiti State, where the state ESCO of PDP was dissolved, and in one or two other states where the National Secretariat is watching developments that are happening there. I think the National Secretariat is beginning to exercise some of the powers it has, and that's what's developing at the moment. So if you look at what has happened between the National Secretariat and the state chapter of the party, then you know that both sides have actually crossed the line.
And once again, I still want to touch on this question. What? Once again, another saying in political quarters is, there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies.
Never.
It's just permanent interests. So once again, when we say the marriage has crashed, when we say they've crossed the line of no return, how about if the interests align again, or is there no possibility of that happening?
At this point, I think it's almost safe to say, look, there is no going back on both sides. You look at the body language of the National Secretariat. I'm sure you're aware that the G5, the integrity group, had complained for probably more than 4 or 5 months now about what they wanted to happen in the party, especially the resignation of IU and the convening of a special convention to change the leadership structure of the party so that all the positions presently occupied by the South will go to the North, and all positions presently occupied by the North will come to the South. That has not happened. The National Secretariat, and I think they've been able to survive that. I think they've had some kind of